All right. So us preparing the live stream. Uh, yeah, we're gonna be right on time. All right, so it's 8 o'clock. All right. I believe we're live. All right. It's 8 o'clock in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm your host, your boy Saul G, the ladies libertarian, the co-conservative himself, and you are now watching the aftermath. All right. Days of red. I believe we're live. First of all, I would like to introduce my. It's 8 o'clock in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm your host, my boy Saul G. He is the Alfred to my Bruce Wayne. My boy BJ broadcasting live from Knoxville, Tennessee. How you doing, BJ? Oh, you can take yourself off mute there.
Yeah, what's up? How y'all doing?
Hey man, I'm just going well. You know, we getting ready for the first show. So you know, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're helping us to get this thing going. This is our election special. If everybody doesn't know, tomorrow we need everybody to get out and vote. All right. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but you know, we will definitely give you some information about some of the candidates and things like that. But we're going to start the show off tonight with some of these very ridiculous, what I call some of the most ridiculous campaign commercials that we've been able to watch here lately. So I think that what we're going to do is we're definitely going to take a look because one of the main issues that we have in this country right now is we talk about the divisive nature of politics. We talk about how things have gotten too toxic. We talk about the divide in the country. And a problem is because we have these extra super dramatic, sometimes racist videos, you know, these commercials that people have. So BJ, let's go ahead and go through clip number one. This is he was a congressman running in West Virginia. So let's go ahead and take a look at this ad, and it's pretty terrible. All right, BJ, got my clip coming, Mr. the West Virginia guy. All right, so let's watch this. Here we go. Hey, rewind it back, sir. You gotta rewind it. Yeah, run it back. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You gotta take yourself off mute.
In the drug epidemic, and you want
to start it over because you had yourself on mute. So when you mute yourself, you can't hear your audio. So start over.
Oh yeah.
Stop. It's not for to start over. You're okay. It's all good. All right. So
politicians are running a lot of crazy ads. They blew up the coal mine and then put me in prison. Now they're running ads that say the coal mine blew up and I went to prison. There's no surprise there. But if you want jobs, if you want to end the drug epidemic, and you want to protect the unborn, you need to vote for me. Swamp Captain Mitch McConnell has created millions of jobs for China people. While doing so, Mitch has gotten rich. In fact, his China family has given him tens of millions of dollars. Mitch's swamp people are now running false negative ads against me. They are also childishly calling me despicable and mentally ill. The war to drain the swamp and create jobs for West Virginia people has begun.
All right, you can stop it right there. Yeah, okay, so first of all, let's review this ad. This is a Republican guy from West Virginia. And it's ridiculous. Like I don't even know what is the China people. I don't know why he thought that was an appropriate comment. Later on in the Republican primary, they actually discussed his comment, and his response was he didn't think that the comment was racist. He actually doubled down and said that there are basically four types of people on Earth. There are white people, there are Negroes, there are China people, and there are Mexicans. So I guess he kind of sort of put everybody in a nice little bubble. But this kind of goes to show you, and like I said, this was a Republican ad. This is not. I understand it's in West Virginia, but this was not necessarily a good look for the GOP. I think that he talked about going to jail in his ad. He talked about how somebody put him in jail for blowing up a coal mine. And I kind of did his little backstory a little bit. And yeah, he went to jail for some type of huge explosion that happened in one of his coal mines. I think the guy's like a billionaire. So he has a lot of money. And he actually didn't end up winning the primary. There's another guy in West Virginia who actually won. All right. So another way that we have seen in as far as ridiculous ads go is the infusion of hip hop, Black culture from people who aren't even Black or seem interested in hip hop culture. But apparently, I believe this ad is from Indiana. So you can go ahead and cue up clip number 2. I believe this ad is from Indiana, and we're not quite sure where the politician is from, but you can guess on your own. But this is a guy named Yatish Joshi. So yeah, I want y'all to go ahead and check out this ad. Go ahead, BJ, play that for me.
Together America works. Together America works. Together America works. Together America works. You wanna be the man, gotta make a name. Say you wanna win, gotta play the game. If you win a race, gotta make a lane. Wanna make a difference, gotta make a change. Yatish, 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 Yatish. Together America works. Together America works. Together America works. Together America works. You wanna be a man, gotta make a name. Say you wanna win, gotta play the game. If you win a race, gotta make a lane. Wanna make a difference, gotta make a change.
I don't know who that last guy was.
I'm Yatish Joshi, and I approve this message.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was the guy at the end, if you kind of notice him with the sunglasses on. That was, like I said, Yatish Joshi, or whatever the case may be. So once again, you have, I believe he is I'm not quite sure, but I do believe he was a Democrat for Indiana running for Congress. And once again, you have that video doesn't talk about any policy. It doesn't talk about anything that this guy wants to do. And I think that we need to stop with basically he's got to stop the foolishness, because if you're voting for someone only because of, I don't even know. I don't think that rapper was anybody famous. I don't think he was, but I didn't recognize him. BJ, did he look familiar to you?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm just checking because sometimes I try to keep up with the with some of these young rappers, but he ain't had no tattoos on his face and no pink hair, so I assumed that he wasn't nobody who I probably had heard of or whatnot. But this once again goes to why are we voting for these people? And I'll just be honest, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Some of these ads are terrible. You know what I mean? Like, if I watched that ad, I had to sit there to myself and say, I'm going to vote for this guy. Why? And what is it about Yatish Joshi that screams hip hop culture? He's basically telling you which audience. So I have to assume he's a Democrat, because honestly, I don't think a Republican would make an ad like that. BJ, you going with a Republican on that one, or are you saying he's a Democrat?
He's probably a Democrat.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that one. Okay, now go ahead and get the third one. Now, this guy, I must admit that this is one of the better campaign ads that I've seen. And it's a little different from the previous one. It does have a music appeal to it. But I think that this guy came through with a lot more personality. And I'm not necessarily saying I would vote for the guy, but I definitely did think that this was a better political ad. It's still, he didn't really talk about anything he wanted to do personally. It was more of an attack ad. But I think this was if we're going to talk about attack ads, then I think this was one of the more, this was a more positive way to attack somebody. So I really enjoyed this next commercial. So go ahead and play clip number 3.
Congresswoman Comstock? Hey, Dan. Isn't that Congresswoman Comstock back there at the bar?
Sure is.
Bet you can't get her to hold a town hall.
Town hall? Do you want better than that? We've lost that love and feeling.
No, Dan.
Never hold town halls anymore with constituents. Planned Parenthood and Obamacare you voted against. You're trying hard not to show it, but Barbara, you know it. You've lost that centrist feeling, 'cause you've been right-wing appealing. We've lost that love and feeling, now it's gone, gone, gone. You've got to go. Ba-doom, 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 doom, doom. Ba-doom, 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 doom, doom.
Nice work, Dan.
Thanks, Maverick.
Ba-doom, doom, doom. Ba-doom, ba-doom.
I'm Dan Helmer. I approve of town halls, bad singing, and this message.
Ba-doom, doom, doom.
All right, you can stop it right there.
Democrat Dan Helmer
Now-
running for Congress in Virginia.
Yeah, stop it. So yeah, as you can see, he's a Democrat running for in Virginia's 10th district.
Hey, why he look like the poor man's Chris Evans?
Yeah, he kind of does. He kind of do look like, well, he ain't got the blonde hair, but maybe he had the blonde hair. He definitely had a little bit of that Captain America feel. I could definitely see that a little bit. But once again, if you look at this ad, I think this ad was done. I actually like this ad, even though, he was talking about Planned Parenthood and, right-wing appealing. I was just like, yeah, I'm not liking the message, but I do think that this is a better way to kind of take some of the poison out of politics, because if you look at how he did it, even if you didn't agree with him, you had to agree that the ad was pretty well done. It was an attack ad, but it's not the the scary movie guy.
Yeah, it was an attack ad. It didn't feel like an attack ad.
Correct. And I honestly, commend him. It's obvious he's a Democrat. So we're probably not going to agree on a lot of things. Like he already talked about Planned Parenthood and Obamacare. So we're already going to be in disagreement right there. But at the same time, I'm not going to say I would vote for the guy because, like I said, we more than likely wouldn't agree. But I didn't sense like it wasn't just a full on, like, they get the scary guy, Dan Heller wants to stop kill babies. And, they get that guy with that voice, that comes in and he makes the other candidate look like the worst person. Like here in Georgia, there's one, Brian Kemp didn't pay $500,000 back in his personal loan that he got from the government. And he stole money from farmers. You can't elect a governor who steals money from farmers. And it's got, the guy in a little creepy voice. And I'm sitting there thinking like, this is so ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why we can't get to a point where you basically come out and just say what your platform is, and then you go from there. All right, now, this next clip that we're about to watch is from Michigan, and I'm going to make sure you pause it in the middle, but this is clip number 4. This is Debbie Stabenow, who is running against a much better candidate, John James, who was a little bit behind in the polls, but I am hoping that this black man, who is also a Republican, and by all accounts to me, seems to be a very, very good guy. I'm hoping that he can pull the upset in Michigan. But I kind of got a message for Michigan. I'm going to pause it. I'll tell you when to pause it, PJ, but I want to pause it at one certain point, and I have a message to the Michigan voters. But let's just watch this ad, and it's obvious they're trying to appeal to the Republican voters. So let's go ahead and watch this one. Go ahead.
Are you talking about John James, I think?
Yes, I am talking about John James. Yes, John James is running. This is her opponent. So,
okay. Is he in the lead?
I'm sorry, is he what?
Is he in the lead?
No, he's not. He's not in the lead.
Oh, really?
And then, like I said, there's going to come, so I want to make sure you're near the pause button. There's going to come a point where I definitely need you to pause it because I have to make an appeal to the Michigan voters. So go ahead.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. If you look at the map of the United States, there's all that red in the middle where Trump won. And his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backwards.
We in Michigan.
All right, pause. Okay, all right. So Michigan, we got to be honest with ourselves right now. I got this thing paused right now because I want you to look at the lady who you are about to elect senator. Like, this lady looks like, I don't even know where to start. She looks like fill in the blank. She could be a witch. She's a cartoon villain. Like, this lady is terrible. And
somehow she looks older than Hillary Clinton.
Correct. She looks older than Hillary Clinton, and I believe she's in her 60s. But it's not all about physical appearance, but we're going to talk a little bit about that physical appearance and politics a little bit later. But this is one thing that the people of Michigan got to understand. John James is a black man. This man served his country. He went to school. Him and his father created a black-owned business that employed people in the auto industry in Detroit. I think they have over 100 and something employees in Detroit. The majority of the people who work for his father are black. And this is the lady, if you go tomorrow and check Democrat, this is the lady who you're going to elect. And this is the lady who you believe will care more about your people, more about your schools, more about your communities. Like, it's not about always just being Democrat or Republican. But in this case, when you have a black man who, like I said, by all means that accounts he has the record. He has the education. He has the military background. He has the business background. He has a clean record. If this man does not win in Michigan tomorrow, I'll be sadly disappointed, because there's no way you look this lady in the eye and you look across the aisle and you see John James, and you might not agree with all of his policies or whatnot, but I got to go back to 2008. And I'll be honest, I voted for Barack Obama only because he was black. I didn't know anything about his policies. I didn't know anything about anything he was going to do. And I look at this race here and I say, well, y'all stayed at home for Hillary Clinton. So even if you can't vote for John James, just stay at home. You know, I'm not trying to, I guess I am telling you not to use your right to vote, but just stay at home, because you can't elect this when you have a good black man that deserves a chance, you know? So let's just finish out the ad.
To a President Hillary Clinton.
The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
All right, so you can stop that there. So basically, like I said, if you remember, Michigan went for Trump. So the fact that Michigan went for Trump, and Michigan's not a red state. Michigan's one of these purple states that kind of flips depending on who's running. If the same turnout for Hillary Clinton shows up, then I think John James has a chance. The only problem is the black vote. Because remember, on election night, we were waiting to see if Hillary Clinton was going to flip Michigan, right? We were waiting, and they kept saying, oh, well, the polls in Detroit, we're just waiting on the Detroit numbers to come back. They're coming. So Detroit, y'all are going to decide this election. You're going to decide it. So if the black people in Detroit, even 25% of the black people in Detroit vote for John James, he's going to win. So in this case, like I said, I think you got to go for the best candidate. And in this case, it's definitely John James. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the last video clip before we bring on our special guest. So go ahead and show this is Joe Manchin, a Democrat in a red state. So let's see what his video looks like.
That's me, shooting the cap and trade bill, because it was bad for West Virginia. Hey, I haven't changed. I might be a few years older, but I'll still take on anyone that messes with West Virginia.
Now the threat is Patrick Morrisey's lawsuit to take away health care from people with pre-existing conditions. He is just dead wrong, and that ain't going to happen. I'm Joe Manchin, and I approve this message because for me, it's all about West Virginia.
All right, so you can stop right there. So apparently this is what a Democrat in a red state looks like. He's shooting guns. He's in the wilderness, talking things like that. I don't think, you can stop that. I don't think Joe Manchin is going to win. I hope he doesn't win, but right now I think the polls do have him ahead. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But We're getting close to the time for our special guest. So if Mr. BJ could put our pictures up as I kind of introduce my guest tonight. I met this young lady at the YBLS conference. You know, she was extremely busy, I'll say the least. You know, she had a very large news network following her around. BJ, let's go ahead and get the pictures that she had up. She had a very large news network following her around. Her name is Sharice. She is from Orlando, Florida. She now attends a private school in the South. I guess it's a private Christian conservative school. BJ, you gonna put the pictures? All right, there we go, cool. So this is the first picture that she put up, and as you can see, it kind of went viral. It got like 51,000 times, and basically, if you look at what she's talking about, you know, she was basically wearing a Trump hat, and it went viral. All right, let's go to the next picture. If you look at what she was doing, she basically did that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on so we can get a little conversation going with her and see what's life has been back.
Hello.
How you doing there, Sharice? What's going on? Okay, so like I said, welcome. I was just giving everybody your little bio or whatnot, and I told them how we met at YBLS. And
yes.
First of all, I want to ask you, how was your experience at YBLS?
My experience was very life-changing, and it definitely made me more bold to stand up for what I believe in. I had never seen so many Black conservatives around each other. So when I went there, it was a very high spirits, because it was just glad to know that I could come together with people of like minds, even if we had different opinions on different stuff. It was great. It was just great to be there. Okay,
and you, I guess you would consider yourself a Christian conservative, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, you know me, I am the libertarian in the bunch, so you know I fall a little bit closer to that away, you know, but it's all good. You know, I love all my people on the right the same. So let's first of all talk about this picture right here. Where was this picture taken? Can you see the picture?
Yes, it was taken in front of the hotel.
Okay.
That we were staying in.
And did you know any of these people before you got to the conference?
Yes, we had actually met from social media, and from the first person I met was a girl named Shekinah. And she's the one standing up to the far right.
Okay.
And, she connected me with everybody else, and we were talking. We're still talking like right now. Like we have a group chat on Instagram, and we didn't plan to do this, but after I put my hat on, I was like, okay, let's get together and let's put our hats on, and let's go out together and not be afraid. So that was before we actually went out.
Okay, so this was like at the beginning of the conference?
Yes, this was on Thursday.
Okay, so then I guess so y'all all got together, and then you took the picture, and then you posted it, and then what happened?
This is my friend. She posted it. She started going viral, and then my pic started going viral as well, but which I did not expect. I just wanted to basically show people it's okay to have a different opinion, and that it's just okay. Like it's just a hat. Like come on, it's just a hat. So hey, I wanted to post it.
Right. Okay. So my other question is, did you? I'm pretty sure that you got some negative feedback on social media. I'm pretty sure everything wasn't positive in MAGA and Make America Great Again. And I'm so proud of you. And, you know, it's good seeing, you know, Black people expressing themselves, even if you don't agree with it. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the response that you got. Like, if you wouldn't mind, what was some of the worst or some of the bad responses? Yeah. I know you had a Christian school, so you can edit it if it's really, really bad. You can, you know,
I sent it to BJ too, but I guess I'll just read. Okay.
Yeah, pick a good one.
It says, I'm gonna read all of them.
Okay, go ahead.
At the beginning, okay?
All right, we listen.
Okay, someone said, oh, your Black card is revoked. I've got many of those. I've been called Cool, Uncle Tom, Aunt Jemima, all of that. Someone said she's seeking to be accepted by society so badly. Another Omarosa, okay?
Did you get disinvited to the cookout?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I wouldn't care. I don't care because I don't want the burnt hot dogs.
Right. I had to make sure we checked all the boxes because you said Coon, Uncle Tom, Sellout, Aunt Jemima, Omarosa.
Chief, this ain't it.
Yeah, they took your black card. You got disinvited to the cooking. You said what now?
They said, Chief, this ain't it. I got a whole bunch of those.
Okay.
I got a DM saying, I'm not gonna curse, but it says B, I'll slap the goofy out of your baby teeth A and wipe my dog A with your hat. F you and what you stand for. Got AB. Okay.
Wait. Time out. See, that's the point right there where I'm saying, like, I mean, I think that if people see you and they'll see a young, attractive girl who's in college doing something positive with her life, like, it doesn't matter about whether or not you agree politically. Right. Telling somebody that you're a B and I'm gonna wipe my dogs, like that's way too far. And that's one of the things that, this is one of the reasons why I want to do the podcast, because I'm trying to get different opinions from whatever. Me and you don't always agree on every single topic, but at the end of the day, we still come together. We love each other, and it's fine. I don't leave the conversation like, man, you know what, man, F Sharice, man, she was talking all that other stuff, man. I can't even be broke with that. I'm gonna go on social media and tweet about her real quick because she was terrible. But I think that's the problem. It's no longer I disagree. It's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's like I disagree, therefore something is wrong with you.
Right.
You disagree with me. And some of the things you're talking about, I think were very, very. I mean, like I said, any type of threat of violence over politics is ridiculous.
Right. Can I read you the worst one I got that I'll just.
All right, please read it to me.
Because I posted a video too, and my video went viral as well. Of us, we were basically singing "We're Gonna Be All Right" by Kendrick Lamar. Okay, not forgetting that. But anyway, somebody retweeted and said, "I don't condone mass shootings, but ...
Wow. And see, like that's the crazy foolishness I'm talking about. Like, why does it have to go to that extreme just because you disagree with somebody? Like that's what I'm saying. We need to learn how to disagree with people, and you let them have their opinion, and we have our opinions.
Right.
Like I said, the conference is about people who are on the right side of politics, and a lot of people on the left don't like the fact that we're on the right side of politics. And I always tell people that, look, if people want to be Democrats, let them be Democrats, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for being a Democrat. The same way you shouldn't come and tell me now, yeah, we can disagree and we can debate. And debating is completely different than arguing and name calling and things of that nature.
Right.
But I think we have to get to a point, and that's one thing I hope, because we're getting younger people involved in politics, that we can kind of sort of stop the what we see the older people doing. You know, understand what I'm saying? So you're 19.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to vote tomorrow.
I already voted through the absentee ballot.
Okay, well that's
a month
good.
ago. So
wait. So you absentee balloted in Florida?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, they're gonna need you down there. We're gonna get to that in a second. But so you're 19, because I remember being the only Republican. Well, not the only one. I found out, some of my people are starting to come out the woodworks and like, yeah, I was with you. We was just only like 3 of us on the campus. Cause like I said, I went to an HBCU where it was very, very liberal, but I say like, it's changed. You know what I mean? Like it was just a Black liberal college. You know what I mean? Like now it's getting to a more progressive nature where they're trying to push other things on Black people and try to make it seem like it's a Black idea. But when I was going there, they were basically this year, you're run of the mill Black Democrats, let's fix our communities. Let's do this. Let's do that. It wasn't like, the okay, let's do socialism, let's do healthcare for all, let's take guns away. It wasn't necessarily had shifted to that point. But I say, okay, you're 19. And like I said, I remember in 2000, I never was a Democrat because my parents weren't. So I never had a walk away moment. But I'm curious to find out, why did you decide to walk away, or, hashtag Blexit, the Democratic Party? What made you decide that, being a Democrat wasn't for you?
Well, it started, I attended a private Christian school, like basically from the first grade to the 12th grade. And my mind began to open up around the 7th grade when my teacher challenged me to start researching. 7th grade? I think I was 14. No, I think I was 13. I know this is around the time after Obama got elected, and she basically challenged us. Oh, by the way, this school, it's an all-black private Christian school, and it's in the middle of the hood, but they're also conservative. So this is very, very, very rare.
Wait, I didn't know you go to so you go to HBCU?
Well, no. I'm saying
this is all-black private Christian.
I'm saying before I graduated.
Oh, okay,
I go to predominantly white Christian college now.
Got you.
But I'm saying from the 1st grade to the 12th grade, I attended an all-black private Christian school in the smack middle of the hood in West Orlando. So the fact that they're also conservative is great. Like, that's really, really rare. Okay. So anyways, my teacher, she basically challenged me to research and to stop depending on other people to give me my information when it comes to just the news in general and politics and everything. So that's exactly what I did. And what I found was miraculous. Like I started to notice that they will use Black politicians or different politicians in order to get the Black vote. Mm-hmm. And they will pull the race card in order to get the Black vote. Like I said, the school's in the middle of the hood. I grew up in the hood for a time, but then I kind of moved out of it, but still around it. And nothing changed. Nothing, still the same. Mm-hmm. So that's when my mind really began to open up. So 7th grade. Why?
Okay, because like
why, right?
Right. And I have a question, but in 2008, were you excited about Obama?
Yes, because my parents were. Mm-hmm. Everybody was. So correct. I just copied I was 9 years old, so I just copied what they did. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So, and now you fast forward 10 years later, and like I said, you have walked away from the Democratic Party, and you find yourself, I guess, like you say, as a Christian conservative now, and I'm probably sure you'll probably be voting majority Republican for the majority of elections. My question to you is, why, from a 19-year-old perspective, do you feel that Blacks tend to lean more towards Democrats? What is it? Do you feel that why, or like you said, you left there, but why do you feel that the majority of the Black community, and for the most part, Blacks are the only community of people who basically have a monolith of voters? There is no other segmented group or population in this country that has that type of segment. So why do you think? And like I said, there is no right or wrong answer because there's no factual answer to it.
Right.
I just want to know your opinion. Why do you feel that Blacks are majority Democrats?
I think it's just because it's custom. They're just so used to their family voting Democrat, their grandparents or whatever voting Democrat. So I feel like it's all in custom. And also, like if you're Black growing up, you grew up in the church. Mm-hmm. So, but the thing is, I feel like they're now focusing more on race instead of Christian values and Christianity. Hey, my friend was just in church Sunday, and Angela Rye. Mm-hmm. Came to the church and was basically campaigning for Andrew Goodlam.
Wow. Yeah.
She's not even Christian, so.
Wait. Yeah, she isn't. That's a weird one. Well, like I said, I do appreciate you taking the time out tonight and you sharing your story with everybody. It was greatly appreciated. I would just like to know if you have any final words and let the people out there know how they could follow you to see what you're doing, because I do think she's going to be doing some great things. She has the look, she has the attitude, and she's showing everybody she's not afraid to express her opinion. So I definitely think she's a very worthwhile follow, because eventually I do believe when I'm not saying you're going to be a politician. I don't know if that's in your cards or if you even want to do it, but I do believe that you could be a very good voice to have on the right, a very good person to follow and watch as your career blossoms, because I could tell just from, seeing you at the conference, like, okay, yeah, she's going to end up doing something, because, you had cameras following you around like you were, a superstar already, So go ahead and give them a little bit of a parting message, if you will.
I just want to encourage you guys to not be afraid to stand on what you believe in. No matter the circumstance, no matter if you get fired, no matter if people shun you, if your family start talking about you, just don't be afraid to stand on what you believe in and to research. Stop depending on the news and the media. That's all I have to say. Follow me on all social medias at Charisse Lane, CharriSelane.
Okay, well, we welcome you. I understand, like I said, we see the dorm room in the back, so we're not going to hold up too much of your time. We're going to let you get back to doing your scholarly duties and focusing on your books and everything. But like I said, we appreciate you coming out, and I'm pretty sure we'll be talking again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, see you later.
Bye.
All right, so like I said, everybody, that was Charisse Lane, the young lady who we talked about. We're about to wrap the show up real quick, but I have to talk to you about this election tomorrow because it's very important. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. But I need everyone to get out and vote. And like I said, the good thing about whether you like Trump or whether you don't like Trump, the good thing is he's made people aware. Good, bad, and different. More people are voting now than they say. Even CNN said this. More people are voting now than in the past 50, 60 years. And that was just based on the absentee ballots and the early voting. So I do believe it's going to be a very large turnout no matter what happens. So we have to understand and we have to look at it as a country. We have to go out and vote. Because if you don't vote, regardless whether you vote Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, it doesn't matter. If you don't get out there and vote, then don't complain. Because if you're not going to make yourself a part of the democratic process, then, you know, like I said, you really don't have any, you still have the right to complain because of freedom of speech. But in my opinion, you don't, because you could have possibly made a difference in this vote. There is no electoral college in the midterm. There is no, every vote counts. So I'm in the state of Georgia, and here we have two main candidates. There's a third candidate, Ted Metz, who's a libertarian who has a very, very good platform. He was just not marketed well, and normally they're not. So here in Georgia, we have Stacey Abrams, who is going to try to attempt to be the first Black female governor in Georgia. So, BJ, what I want you to do is I want you to play this clip. I think it's clip number 6. I want you to play this for me, and this is CNN. And I don't know what happened to Jake Tapper lately, but Jake Tapper is starting to call it like he sees it. He's starting to actually call what I call balls and strikes, which is what we want from our media. So go ahead and play this. Go ahead and blow that up for me too. All right, thank you. All right, so let's hit that. It's already blown. No, you got to hit the play button.
It won't let me play it.
It's not letting you play it. It was like it was moving there a second ago. So it's not playing?
Wait a second, let me do something real quick.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I'll kind of tell you what it says in the video.
Your current position that law-abiding gun owners in Georgia should have to give up those weapons if authorities deem it necessary?
In the state of Georgia, you introduced legislation to start conversations. I am happy to work with the legislature to figure out how we make an assault weapons ban work. But what I fundamentally believe is that we have to have common sense gun safety legislation. I am someone who supports the Second Amendment, who knows how to shoot, who knows how to hunt, but I believe that our responsibility is to make certain that the most vulnerable in our society do not face those who are irresponsible with their weapons. AR-15s are not necessary on our streets.
Okay, stop.
Weapons have to be under a certain level of responsible control.
Well, actually, just keep playing it because I don't. Yeah, okay. Well, look, there's something that she said right there. She said she wants to get the conversation started. Right? What conversation do we need to have, Ms. Abrams? You want to talk about gun control, right? And this is not even gun control. This is gun confiscation. So I want to understand what type of conversation you want to have. When you talk about, I hate when people use this term, assault rifles. It's like, I really wish, you know, either you played video games or you actually had a gun yourself because you would know what an assault rifle is, okay? If I pull the trigger one time and one bullet comes out, that's not an assault rifle. I don't understand why she talks about a AR-15 being an assault rifle when it's not. If I pull the trigger one time and one bullet comes out, it's not an assault rifle. Otherwise, if you got a handgun, you pull the trigger one time and one bullet comes out, that's not, I mean, that's the same thing. What they're talking about are these semi-auto machine guns, which you can't even legally own in this country anyway. Now, you do understand they can be modified, but once you modify a weapon, you make it illegal. But I think that she's starting a dangerous conversation because now you have to look at is when you say assault rifles are unnecessary. Well, the way I read the Second Amendment is it stops anyone, all right, whether that be a tyrannical government or a foreign power from coming here and basically taking over, because that's the thing that makes America different. Unlike most countries, when you're going to be fighting the army, right? You got to fight their military. But in America, if you actually want to try to take over America, you got to go door to door to door. And I personally would like to have an AR-15 just in case that day ever comes, because you don't want to have a non-military style. And I'm not saying an AR-15, which is almost an exact copy of an M16, but just without the semi-auto and automatic selector. I don't even think it has an automatic, maybe a 3-round burst. That's at least what it was when I was in. But the bottom line is, you know, she's talking about banning assault rifles, and we cannot get a definition of what that means. Okay. See, now I want to stop right there, and I want you to post. I want to see the picture that happened this weekend. And this is something where I say it's very hypocritical, and this is just something I don't understand. Over the weekend on what's called the historic West End, all right, which is it's a cool part of town. It's right near the AU Center, right? All right, so this is a picture I took today when I was over in the West End. So this is where you're at. It's the historic West End. You know, it's without the West End Mall. It's very close to Morehouse, Spelman, and the AU Center. Show the next picture, and I want to explain something to you. Because this was what was really bothering me with Stacey Abrams' comments. And to be honest with you, this is why I believe she's going to lose the election tomorrow. I want you to look at this picture, okay? Now, these are the new Black Panthers, and if you could blow that up any, it would be great, okay? So Stacey Abrams was on CNN talking about banning assault-type rifles. Now, what I want you to do is there are 5 gentlemen pictured. If you look at the guy all the way on the right, what in the world type of gun is that? I'm not quite sure if that's a SCAR, but I don't know. But when she talks about banning certain rifles, then she's telling the people out there, because apparently all these guns are legal, okay? They look, quote, you know, like I always say, they look scary. But if you look at the guns that she has, right, she's basically telling the people who are voting for her, hey, look, if I get elected, I'm confiscating these weapons. And I do believe, like I said, because the new Black Panthers are not the old Black Panthers. And, you know, I know people have their own opinions about the Black Panthers, but the one thing that the Black Panthers have always been is they have always been very pro-Second Amendment. And I do believe that we're doing ourselves a disservice when you're going to go out there and campaign for a lady who in your face says she wants to start a conversation about confiscating the very weapons you have in your hand. So if you agree with her, then how? Because the other thing about it was they said they're going. I don't know if they're planning on going to the polls, you know, with rifles to try to stop the Black suppression of the vote. I don't know how the guys pictured in this ad. I don't know if they think white Republicans from the north side of town are going to come down and try to, you know, suppress the vote somehow, and they're going to stop them with these guns. I don't really know what they're planning on doing, but apparently that was what their message was. We're going to ensure that the vote is legit. But the odd part about this to me is, BJ, this area of town is 90-something% Black. So I'll just ask you an easy question. BJ, what do you think the people are going to look like that's running this poll? Then they're going to be Black, white, Asian, Hispanic?
They're going to be Black.
So, okay, the people who live in this area are 95% Black. So that means if you're going to the correct polling location, then you're more than likely to be Black, right?
Yep.
So what they're going to do is they're going to protect Black people and Black posters from getting their vote suppressed. And my question to them is, who is going to suppress their vote? Unless it's the posters and the people themselves, because there's no way, because I mean, be honest, white people don't go to the West End. I mean, they're starting to build some craft breweries and they're starting to do the gentrification, but it's definitely not going in that direction. All right, so you can go ahead and stop there right there.
Plus, also, you should notice something else. There's no police around.
Correct. And if you also notice, they don't have magazines in, but I mean, I was in the military. It might take less than half a second to load of magazines. So I think the fact they say they didn't have magazines in them, they're not a threatening or whatnot. I think that's ridiculous because it's just not a good look. It's not a good look for somebody who is, I'm not saying Stacey Abrams is as anti-gun as some of the other people, but she's definitely starting to waver a little bit in her, I'm a girl who learned to hunt and shoot. But to be honest with you, I don't see Stacey Abrams in a deer stand. I don't know about you, but I highly doubt that Stacey Abrams is in an all orange suit in a deer stand, putting on all the other things that are necessary to shoot and do. I don't see her doing that. All right, so you can go ahead and cut that off. The last thing we're gonna do is my tweet of the week. So if you could post that real quick. I just want to go, and this is once again talking about how ridiculous politics is getting. So I'm gonna read this tweet. It says, fun fact, Barron Trump was born in March 2006 and Melania wasn't a legal citizen until July 2006. So under this executive order, his own son wouldn't be an American citizen. The ridiculous nature of this statement shows you where our country is, right? The fact that he even actually posted, I don't know if he was doing that as a joke, I hope so. But he does realize that Donald Trump is his father and Donald Trump is an American citizen. Therefore, his son is an American citizen. The womb does not transfer like to, if you want to talk about she was supposed to be not a legal citizen, guess what? She was a legal permanent resident, so she still had permission to be here. So when you see tweets like this is the big problem I have. And there's a lot of misinformation and other things going on around there, but this is what really bothers me when I see tweets like this. But yeah, you can go ahead and close that out. I would like to thank everybody for coming out and watching the show. Please, tomorrow on social media, make sure you post, your pictures of your voting stickers and make sure you get out there and vote. Because like I said, in 2016, everyone who's complaining, everybody who sat at home, you can't complain about Donald Trump being president because you sat at home and you didn't decide to come out and vote. If you don't think voting is important, then you can't complain about the laws, the tax codes being created. You can't complain. So I just ask everyone to go out and vote tomorrow. Quick predictions. Since this was on CNN, I do believe this is going to cost Stacey Abrams the election. I do not believe she's going to win. I have seen a lot of Stacey Abrams posters when I drive around my neighborhood, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out and vote, because I think she's feeling it slip away when she came out with that comment, because it was fine just to be a Democrat. It was fine to be the Democrat who shoots guns. But as soon as you mention confiscation, then now you're going to cause the people to come down from the hills and come out and vote. So I do believe Brian Kemp's going to win tomorrow. I believe Andrew Gillum will win Florida. And Floridians, when you do have a state income tax, just understand why. And if you didn't look at his platform and you voted for him because he's a charismatic black man, which he is, then understand why you're going to now probably have a state income tax. I do believe Nelson will lose to former Governor Rick Scott. I see Hawley in Missouri beating McCaskill. I'm really, really hoping that the people of Michigan do the right thing and elect John James in Michigan. And I do believe the Republicans will lose a couple of seats in the Senate. Not in the Senate, but they're going to gain some seats in the Senate, and they're going to lose maybe 10 to 12 seats in the House. That's just how things are. So just want to thank once again, like I said, he is the Alfred to my Batman, BJ, for helping me with all the transitions, slides, movies, picks, making sure everything is kind of running smoothly. I want to thank my partner from our Thursday show, 50 Shades of Red at night. We will have another broadcast live 8 p.m. on Thursday. Naomi, I'd like to thank her for everything that we're trying to do. She's been wonderful in this whole process, and I would like to thank her. I would like to thank my special guest tonight, Sharice. I hope she continues to express her voice and continues to do what she does. So until next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, this has been The Aftermath, and I have been your host, Saul G, and we will see you next week. So everybody have a good day.
Peace out.
Get out and vote. You got anything to say, BJ?
No, just go out and vote.
There you go. man, you heard it from BJ right there. BJ from Knoxville says go out and vote, so you got to do it. So, like I said, everybody try
Thanks
to.
for having me.
There you go. Oh, man, Sharice still on, man. Sharice still in the building. Okay.
I'm still in here.
Yeah, you still in here? You got something you want to say to the people before I stop the stream? You good?
Vote.
Get out and vote. There you go. All right. So, like I said, this has been the Aftermath. I've been your host, Saul G, man. And y'all have a wonderful evening. Be safe.